Welcome back to Hidden Coin Millions. Before you spend another Kennedy half-dollar, stop for just a moment. Because one ordinary-looking coin hiding in a pocket, coin jar, or old family collection could secretly be worth far more than anyone around you realizes. Most people glance at these coins and see only 50 cents. Collectors see something completely different, a piece of history that, under the right circumstances, can become the centerpiece of an incredible collection. Today, we're counting down the top 5 ultra-rare and most valuable Kennedy half-dollars that continue to fascinate collectors across America. Make sure you stay until the end, because the final coin is the one almost nobody expects. Let's begin with coin number 1. Coin number 1. The story of the 1964 with D. Kennedy half-dollar begins during one of the most emotional periods in American history. After President John F. Kennedy's assassination in 1963, the United States moved quickly to honor his legacy by introducing a brand new half-dollar in 1964. Americans rushed to save these coins as keepsakes, and they became one of the most recognized modern U.S. coins ever produced. Even decades later, collectors continue searching through old collections and inherited coin jars, hoping to discover an exceptional example. Your featured coin carries the D Mint mark, showing it was struck at the Denver Mint. At first glance, it may seem ordinary, but experienced collectors know that condition, originality, eye appeal, and surface preservation can dramatically affect collector interest. A coin with attractive details and strong remaining design elements often draws much more attention than an average circulated example. One detail that immediately catches the eye on your coin is the black spotting on the reverse. While many collectors generally prefer clean, original surfaces, some naturally aged coins develop distinctive toning or spotting over the decades of storage. Every coin tells its own story through the marks it has collected over time. Combined with the attractive overall appearance you described, this coin stands out as an interesting conversation piece for collectors who appreciate originality and history. The 1964 issue is especially significant because it was the only regular issue Kennedy half-dollar struck in 90% silver for circulation. That silver composition makes it one of the most recognizable dates in the entire Kennedy half-dollar series. Beyond its silver content, it represents a historic moment that still resonates with collectors across the United States. The obverse features the famous portrait of President Kennedy designed by Gilroy Roberts, while the reverse displays the presidential seal created by Frank Gasparo. Even after more than 60 years, the sharp details in Kennedy's portrait remain one of the reasons collectors adore this design. When an extra-fine example still shows strong hair detail, clear lettering, and impressive overall eye appeal, it naturally becomes much more desirable than heavily worn examples. Collector demand for quality 1964 with D. Kennedy half-dollars has remained remarkably strong because many enthusiasts strive to assemble complete date and mint collections. Higher-grade pieces, especially those with attractive natural surfaces and minimal distractions, often receive considerably more attention than ordinary examples. That ongoing demand is one reason collectors continue searching estate sales, bank rolls, inherited collections, and forgotten coin albums looking for overlooked treasures. If you own a coin similar to this one, never rush to clean or polish it. Cleaning can permanently alter the original surface and may reduce collector appeal. Instead, hold the coin carefully by its edges, store it in a protective holder, and if you believe it could be a special example, consider having it evaluated by a respected third-party grading service. Proper authentication and grading can provide buyers with confidence about the coin's condition and authenticity. For the specific example you've described in this video, you've provided an example value of $195. 1/100th that figure is not a verified current market price, and actual values for Kennedy half dollars depend on authentication, grade, originality, rarity, and the results of real collector sales or auctions. Exceptional examples with unusual characteristics can command much stronger interest than ordinary coins, which is why careful evaluation is so important. The real excitement of coin collecting isn't just about numbers, it's about discovery. Every Kennedy half dollar has the potential to reveal a fascinating story, and the thrill of finding a remarkable example is what keeps collectors searching year after year. So before you spend another old half dollar or leave one forgotten in a drawer, take a closer look. The next coin in today's countdown becomes even more surprising, and you won't want to miss what comes next. Coin number 2. Now the countdown becomes even more interesting. At first glance, the 1973 with D. Kennedy half dollar may look like just another old 50-cent coin that has spent years passing from one hand to another. Thousands of people have probably overlooked coins like this without giving them a second thought. But seasoned collectors know that every date and mint mark has its own story, and sometimes an ordinary-looking coin can become the one everyone wishes they had saved. That's why this next Kennedy half dollar deserves a much closer look. The D mint mark tells us this coin was struck at the Denver Mint, one of the busiest United States mint facilities. By 1973, the Kennedy half dollar had already become an iconic American coin. Although it no longer circulated as heavily as it did in the mid-1960s, millions of Americans still tucked these coins away in drawers, piggy banks, and family collections. Today, those forgotten coins continue to spark excitement among collectors searching for attractive examples. Unlike the original 1964 silver issue, the 1973 with D. Kennedy half dollar was struck in a copper-nickel-clad composition with an outer layer of copper-nickel bonded to a pure copper core. Even without silver content, collectors remain interested in these coins because of their historical significance, eye appeal, and the challenge of finding well-preserved examples decades after they were minted. The coin you've described shows black and brown spots on the reverse while remaining in fine condition. Natural aging, long-term storage, and environmental exposure can create distinctive toning patterns over time. Many collectors enjoy coins that display original surfaces and unique aging because they tell a story of where the coin has been throughout its lifetime. Every mark, every shade of color, and every detail represents another chapter in the coin's journey through American history. Even in fine condition, important design elements remain visible. President Kennedy's portrait still reflects the powerful design created by Gilroy Roberts, while the reverse proudly displays the presidential seal designed by Frank Gasparo. Collectors often examine lettering, rim strength, feather details on the eagle, and overall surface originality before deciding whether a coin deserves a place in their collection. What makes searching for Kennedy half dollars so exciting is that no two collections are exactly alike. One collector may focus on complete date and mint sets, while another searches only for naturally toned coins or exceptionally preserved examples. That variety keeps demand alive, especially for coins with interesting visual character and authentic surfaces. If you discover a 1973 with D. Kennedy half dollar, resist the temptation to clean it. A polished coin may look brighter, but cleaning can permanently change the original surface that collectors value. Instead, hold the coin only by its edges, store it in a quality protective holder, and if you believe it has exceptional characteristics, consider professional authentication and grading. Those steps help preserve the coin and provide confidence to future buyers or collectors. For the specific example featured in this video, you've provided an example value of $128 This figure is not a verified current market price. The actual value of any Kennedy half dollar depends on important factors such as authenticity, condition, eye appeal, rarity, and real auction or collector market results. Exceptional examples can attract far greater attention than ordinary pieces, which is why careful evaluation is always worthwhile. This is exactly why experienced collectors never ignore an old Kennedy half dollar. A coin that appears ordinary today could reveal fascinating characteristics after a closer inspection. The thrill comes from the possibility that something sitting quietly in a forgotten collection could become one of the most talked about pieces in a collector's showcase. And don't go anywhere, because coin number 3 takes this countdown in a completely different direction. It features another Kennedy half dollar that many people have handled over the years without realizing why collectors continue searching for exceptional examples. Hidden Coin Millions brings you fresh coin discoveries every day, so stay with us as the countdown gets even more exciting. Coin number 3. Now we're reaching the point in this countdown where many viewers begin looking at their own collections a little more carefully. The 1981 with P. Kennedy half dollar is one of those coins that countless Americans have seen over the years without giving it a second thought. Yet among collectors, attractive examples continue to attract attention because every surviving coin has its own story of preservation, originality, and history. Sometimes the most overlooked coins become the most exciting discoveries when examined closely. The P Mint mark identifies this coin as being struck at the Philadelphia Mint, one of the oldest and most historic minting facilities in the United States. By 1981, Kennedy half dollars were no longer commonly used in everyday circulation, which meant many coins spent years sitting quietly in bank vaults, dresser drawers, inherited collections, and forgotten coin albums. That history makes searching through old family collections especially exciting because remarkable examples still appear where people least expect them. Like other regular issue Kennedy half dollars of this era, the 1981 with P was struck using a copper-nickel-clad composition bonded to a pure copper core. While it doesn't contain the 90% silver found in the 1964 issue, collectors still pursue high-quality examples because complete Kennedy half dollar sets require every important date and mint mark. Eye appeal, originality, and preservation all play an important role in collector interest. Your featured coin has a brown spot and visible edge toning while remaining in fine condition. Over many years, natural storage environments can produce subtle color changes on a coin's surface. Many collectors appreciate original toning because it reflects the coin's journey through time, rather than an altered appearance. Every naturally aged surface is unique, making no two coins exactly alike. Even with circulation wear, the classic design remains easy to recognize. The dignified portrait of President John F. Kennedy on the obverse continues to symbolize one of America's most memorable historical figures, while the reverse features the detailed presidential seal created by Frank Gasparo. Collectors often inspect the sharpness of lettering, rim definition, eagle details, and the overall balance of wear before deciding whether a coin deserves a place in their collection. One of the reasons the Kennedy half dollar series remains popular is that collectors enjoy searching for examples with exceptional eye appeal, unusual toning, strong strikes, or outstanding preservation. The excitement isn't simply about the date. It comes from discovering a coin that stands apart from the ordinary. That's why experienced collectors carefully examine every half dollar instead of assuming all examples are the same. If you own a 1981 with P. Kennedy $half, treat it with care. Never polish or clean the surface, even if it seems dull. Cleaning can permanently change the original finish and reduce collector appeal. The best approach is to handle the coin only by its edges, store it in a protective holder, and seek professional authentication if you believe it has particularly desirable characteristics. For the specific example featured in this video, you've provided an example value of $118 hundredths. This number is not a verified current market price. The actual value of any Kennedy $half depends on factors such as authentication, condition, originality, eye appeal, rarity, and real-world collector demand or auction results. Exceptional examples may command much stronger prices than typical circulated coins, which is why proper evaluation is essential. The true thrill of coin collecting comes from the possibility that an ordinary-looking coin could turn out to be an extraordinary find after careful examination. Every year, collectors continue searching through inherited collections, old coin folders, estate sales, and forgotten boxes in hopes of uncovering a Kennedy $half with something special. And the excitement doesn't stop here. Coin number 4 takes us back to one of the most fascinating years in the Kennedy $half series, a coin that continues to capture the attention of collectors because of its place in U.S. minting history. Stay with Hidden Coin Millions, where we bring you fresh coin discoveries and fascinating collecting stories every single day. Coin number 4. We're now entering one of the most fascinating chapters in the Kennedy $half series. If you've stayed with me this far, you're about to discover why the 1965 Kennedy $half with no mint mark continues to attract attention from collectors across the United States. At first glance, it may seem like another well-used coin from decades ago, but its place in American coinage history makes it one of the most talked-about dates in the series. Sometimes the greatest discoveries aren't the brightest-looking coins. They're the ones with the most remarkable stories. The year 1965 marked a major turning point for U.S. coinage. Rising silver prices led the United States Mint to change the metal composition of several circulating coins. While dimes and quarters immediately switched to copper-nickel-clad construction, the Kennedy $half entered a special transitional period and was struck with a 40% silver composition, making it historically significant to collectors. This unique place in American minting history is one reason so many enthusiasts continue searching for attractive 1965 examples. Unlike later Kennedy $half, the regular 1965 issue does not carry a mint mark because the mint temporarily removed mint marks from circulating coins during the mid-1960s. That missing mint mark often surprises newer collectors, but experienced numismatists recognize it as an important characteristic of coins produced during this period. Understanding details like this helps collectors identify genuine examples and appreciate the story behind each coin. Your featured coin is described as having gray dots across the surface while remaining in circulated condition. After decades of use and storage, coins often develop natural toning and subtle color variations. These gray patterns may reflect the coin's long journey through countless hands, cash registers, coin jars, and family collections. Many collectors enjoy coins that retain their original surfaces because they tell an authentic story of time and preservation rather than appearing artificially altered. Even with circulation wear, the famous portrait of President John F. Kennedy remains one of the most recognizable designs in modern American coinage. The reverse proudly displays the presidential seal, symbolizing the nation's strength and history. Collectors carefully inspect the remaining detail in the hair, lettering, eagle feathers, and rims to determine the coin's overall eye appeal and preservation. The 1965 Kennedy half-dollar continues to enjoy strong collector interest because it represents a unique transition between the original 90% silver issues and the later copper-nickel-clad series. Many hobbyists building complete Kennedy half-dollar collections consider this date essential, and attractive original examples often receive much more attention than heavily damaged or cleaned pieces. If you find a 1965 Kennedy half-dollar in an old collection, don't rush to polish it or try to make it look new. Cleaning can permanently change the original surface and reduce its appeal to many collectors. Instead, handle the coin only by its edges, place it in a protective holder, and if you believe it has exceptional characteristics, consider professional authentication and grading. An expert evaluation can help determine exactly what makes a particular example stand out. For the specific coin featured in this video, you've provided an example value of $192. This amount is not a verified current market price. The actual value of a 1965 Kennedy half-dollar depends on its authenticity, condition, originality, rarity, eye appeal, and verified sales through collectors or public auctions. Coins with exceptional preservation or unusual characteristics can attract significantly more collector interest than ordinary circulated examples. That is exactly what makes coin collecting so exciting. Every old half-dollar has a story waiting to be discovered, and every collection has the potential to contain something far more interesting than it first appears. The excitement comes from examining each coin carefully and recognizing the details that many people overlook. But don't leave yet, because coin number 5 is the grand finale of today's countdown. It features another Kennedy half-dollar that continues to capture the imagination of collectors, and it's the perfect way to end today's journey through some of the most fascinating coins in the series. Hidden Coin Millions brings you fresh coin discoveries and collecting stories every day, so stay tuned for the final coin. Coin number 5. We've reached the grand finale, and this last coin perfectly demonstrates why so many collectors continue searching through old collections, inherited albums, and forgotten coin boxes. The 1969 with D. Kennedy half-dollar may not attract attention from the average person, but to an experienced collector, an attractive uncirculated example can become one of the highlights of a Kennedy half-dollar collection. This is the kind of coin that reminds us why careful observation matters in the world of numismatics. The D Mint mark tells us this coin was struck at the Denver Mint during an important period in the history of the Kennedy half-dollar series. By 1969, the United States Mint was still producing half-dollars with a 40% silver composition, making these coins historically significant compared with the later copper-nickel-clad issues. Because of that silver content and their connection to the early years of the series, many collectors continue searching for well-preserved examples decades after they were released. Your featured coin is described as uncirculated, which immediately makes it more appealing than examples that spent years in everyday commerce. Uncirculated coins generally retain much of their original mint appearance, with stronger design details and less wear. The brown dots you mentioned may represent natural toning that developed during long-term storage. Many collectors appreciate original, naturally aged surfaces because they reflect the coin's history rather than an altered appearance. Looking closely at the design, President John F. Kennedy's portrait still displays the bold artistry created by Gilroy Roberts, while the reverse features Frank Gasparo's detailed presidential seal. On an uncirculated coin, collectors often inspect the luster, strike quality, rim sharpness, lettering, and overall eye appeal. These characteristics help determine how desirable a particular example may be within the collector market. The 1969 with D issue occupies an interesting place in the Kennedy half-dollar series because it belongs to the early 40% silver era. Collectors building complete sets often seek attractive examples from this transitional period, especially coins that have remained well preserved over the decades. While many pieces have acquired contact marks or evidence of circulation, a coin with appealing originality and strong visual presentation naturally attracts greater interest. If you ever discover a 1969 with D Kennedy half-dollar that appears to be in exceptional condition, avoid cleaning or polishing it. Original surfaces are highly valued by collectors, and improper cleaning can permanently change the appearance of the coin. Handle it only by its edges, place it in a protective holder, and if you suspect it could be an outstanding example, consider having it authenticated and graded by a reputable third-party grading service. For the specific coin featured in this video, you've provided an example value of $180.06. This amount is not a verified current market price. The actual value of any 1969 D Kennedy half-dollar depends on authentication, grade, originality, eye appeal, rarity, and verified collector or auction sales. Coins with exceptional preservation or unusual characteristics can attract significantly more interest than ordinary examples. This final coin reminds us of the greatest lesson in coin collecting: never judge a coin by a quick glance. Every Kennedy half-dollar carries a piece of American history, and occasionally an overlooked coin turns out to be far more interesting than anyone expected. The excitement of the hobby comes from learning the details, preserving original coins, and discovering examples that stand out for their quality and historical significance. That brings us to the end of today's countdown of the top 5 ultra-rare and most valuable Kennedy half-dollars. If you enjoyed this journey through some of the most fascinating coins in the series, make sure to like this video, subscribe to Hidden Coin Millions, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss our fresh daily uploads. Every day, we explore remarkable US coins, share collecting tips, and uncover the stories behind America's most fascinating pocket change. Until next time, keep checking your collections. You never know what piece of history might be waiting to be discovered.